Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Sportscast podcast. This week with myself and James, we have a look back to the end of the Olympics come to a close and the start of the EFL with a little bit of discussion around Wayne Rooney and other previous player managers. James, hello.
Good evening, you alright?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good. We are back in the swing of things. I think we'll start with where we're now finishing up with the Olympics. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Have you caught much this week?
I have this week, yeah. I've really enjoyed it, actually. I was watching taekwondo and the weightlifting. I'm absolutely obsessed with the cycling. I've really enjoyed it.
Cycling is in the velodrome?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely obsessed with it. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Fair enough. I would have thought that was something that would have been up your street.
No, there was a race I watched the other day, and it went on for something along the lines of something like 120 laps or whatever it was. And every now and again they come round and they'll do like 2 laps each, and then the second player will come from the top of the track. They'll come down, and then they grab the front rider or grab the hand and pull them forward.
Right.
I just thought, what
a weird
way to do it. But it was I really enjoyed the cycling.
No, it's I caught the road cycling. I caught the road cycling. That finished last week. I'll butcher his name, but he came third in the Evanderpole. He came third in the Tour de France, and then he went on to win this 272 kilometers. Finished and lifted a yard over the finish line. Lifted his bike over his head for an iconic sort of picture finish. I've caught a little bit of the taekwondo. They've changed the format this year, haven't they? Where it's sort of like 3 rounds of 2 or 3 minutes, depending on the sex, and sort of winner takes all, I guess, for the 3 rounds.
Point systems. I kept seeing the word trunk pop up next to the point system. I don't quite know what that meant, but I know
it was a clean shot to the trunk of the body, so the torso.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
2 points. Yeah. Every time. Yeah, I've caught a bit of the athletics. Caught a bit of the high jump last night. That was quite entertaining. Mm-hmm. So both, it was an American and a New Zealander. They got up to like 2:38, and they both failed it 3 times. So then they went back to 2:36, and then back to 2:34. There's like a shoot off, and then the first one to clear one keeps it.
Well, they didn't give 2 goals out like they done in the last games. Then
they got the option, but the American said no. He wanted all out, and he actually got silver. So he sort of done himself out of a medal there, of a gold medal anyway. So yeah, but I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been, for all intents and purposes, I think it's been a bit of a success. I think there was a lot of iffiness surrounding it, the safety of Paris and things like that. But
yeah, I think the Parisians have done really well. Actually, I think it's been a fantastic game. It's been a game that's been without major trouble. So from security purposes, brilliant. I think the biggest shithole of it all was, well, pardon the pun, was the shit in the river, and some of the some of the events had to be cancelled because of it. But yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been incredibly funny at times as well. There's been some funny moments, and I don't know if you caught it, but did you see the breakdancing?
I have, I have that. That's been probably for me, not the funniest moment, but that'll keep the internet going for a very long time.
Oh, it's the classic. Lied on her resume, completely lied. Said, yeah, I can do that. Not a drama. Yeah, no worries. And it just looks like a toddler rolling around on the floor having a tantrum, doesn't it?
apparently she has a PhD in dance in Australia, and she's a teacher of dance.
Well,
Just
not
not
the
that.
one that I'll be asking for it back.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the little bits from like today. There's been probably more action on during some of these events than off it, in the sense of trouble. Today, the Dutch rider, as he sort of cycled past the British guy, headbutted him and knocked him off his bike.
What, in the velodrome?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it that? Was it the other day? Was it that Carlin was racing, weren't he? And he was already on a yellow card, weren't he? And he bit of shithousery. He kind of threw his back wheel into the guy's front wheel and nearly knocked him off.
Right. This was the Dutch guys who drove past, headbutted the British guy.
Yeah, could be a bit of variation from that, maybe.
And then I think for me, the funniest or the biggest one was the Dutch again, against Germany in the hockey. The German keeper was asked before the match about winning the gold medal, and he's sort of turned around and said, "Well, we've beaten the last 3 times, so it's just carry on as we are," kind of thing. And then they lost on penalties, and the Dutch guy's gone right up to the German keeper and shushed him.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's been a few sort of little bits like that. It's happened in the women's hockey as well, a bit of a late after the final whistle. There's just been a few moments where I just think they've just been out there to wind. Did you see the 5,000 metres, the Mills, the sprint, the long distance runner?
Oh, and the blokes one, yeah. He went up to the Frenchman, didn't he, afterwards, and put it on him a bit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know who his dad is?
Who? What, the British runner?
Yeah.
What's his surname?
Mills.
Danny? Footballer?
Yeah, ex-Leeds United.
When I was looking at him, I was thinking, God, he do look like old Danny Mills.
Yeah.
So it does make sense.
Yeah. But I think all round, I think it's been a bit of a success. 4 years to go till is it LA or San Fran? I think it's classed as San Fran, isn't it?
No, it's Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, yeah. But
LA,
I've seen today there's no boxing at that Olympics.
I was told, my wife mentioned that about 5 minutes before we came on, said that they're not doing any boxing. And I think, why, I don't know, but I would maybe hazard a guess. There's been a massive amount of controversy over the boxing in this games around the gender side of things of some of the fighters. Both of the fighters that have been involved in the are they female, are they not row, have both won gold medals, and whether or not they've just gone, do you know what, sod it, or whether or not they just think, I just don't want boxing in it.
Yeah, it's to do with the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and the IBA, the International Boxing Association, has basically fell out.
Yeah.
So
it's not been. I mean, boxing hasn't really been. It's not been shown in a great light, has it, in these games?
No, and I think the sport as a whole has changed a little bit in the sense of you've got the influencers trying to be boxers. So I'm not a particular fan of where boxing's gone, and I think the state of the heavyweight division as it stands, you've got Joshua fighting Dubois, I think, next, and both are north of 35, if not going to be north of 36 by the time they fight. That's not exactly attractive in that division, but we shall see. I was most looking forward today to be bragging about being top of the league, but I can't.
No.
EFL is back, and
how nice is it? I know we've had the Euros this summer, but just to have domestic football back is brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. And I think as well, what an opening day. I mean, I know we spoke sort of earlier on today, and there was a few contenders for goal of the seasons already out there. Have you had a chance to catch anything that I spoke about?
Yeah, I did. I watched the Wrexham and Wycombe Wanderers highlights, and both there's two of the second and the third Wrexham goals are brilliant. That second goal where he's just took it and a cheeky little flick round the corner and he's just hammered it in. Brilliant.
Just liquid football.
It was. It was. It's a bit like old Dennis Bergkamp years ago for Newcastle and Jack Wilshere for Arsenal against Norwich. It just flowed really, really nice, and it looked phenomenal. So
it really did. Did you catch
good.
the Doncaster goals?
I haven't seen the Donny goals yet. No.
So you've got the Stockport goal where he sort of lobs the keeper from about 25 yards out, but he really has to. It goes really high, so it's not really doesn't seem like there's much skill to it. But you have Jordan Gibson and Luke Molyneux goals for Doncaster. Both pick the ball up sort of 40 yards out, run forward 10 yards, and they both just smash it into the top corner. Two keepers weren't getting there. So really nice to see. And also, old Billy Sharp back on the score sheet for Doncaster. He's back in Doncaster colours. Yeah, he's left LA Galaxy and he thought, you know what, I've had enough of the sun. I'm off to Doncaster.
I'm going back to Donny.
Yeah, I can see the resemblances between the two. And he scored his 250th goal back in, first game back. So, yeah, I think he's very well thought of by the Donny fans. So,
that's great. I mean, Doncaster didn't. Well, you say they didn't do too well last season. I think we spoke about it last season that with about 17 games to go, they were looking at relegation, and all of a sudden they're in the bloody playoffs. So
yeah,
it's nice to see how they started as they finished off last year on a big 4-1 win.
The massive favourites to go up with how they've recruited this year. So they should do. They should do. Championship. Leeds Portsmouth probably the pick of the games. 2-2. Portsmouth scored in the 92nd minute to go 3-2, and Leeds come back in the 95th minute. Portsmouth back in the Championship after all these years.
It only seemed like yesterday they were in the Premiership, but
yeah, well, I remember that they won the FA Cup. The league, they got relegated, and that's what would that be? Probably 20 years ago. Yeah, but then I think a couple of other big results. Really, I think Norwich losing to Oxford, I
can't believe that. I mean, first time Oxford have been up in the Championship for I don't know how long.
Yeah,
Norwich. I mean, certainly from my neck of the woods, a lot of Norwich fans in and around here, and they're all predicting that Norwich are one of the favourites to go up. But
I think they are. I think Burnley, Sheffield United, Norwich, Ipswich. I'm saying Ipswich is going to come back down and stay up there for a bit, but even Blackburn are probably one of the favourites. But yeah, Friday night, Sheffield United up and running 2-0 away at Preston, and Blackburn 4-2 against Derby with their return.
A good game. I watched that game as well. That was a really good game.
The Blackburn game. Yeah. To be honest, it was quite nice. Two debutants with goals, and Sammy Smodic scored and not sort of looking like he's given a farewell to the fans. So hopefully we can keep hold of him.
Because Blackburn haven't been in the Premiership now for some years either, have they?
I reckon it's been 12, 13 years.
I was going to say 14, 15. So yeah, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
I don't think it's quite 15. But yeah, it was the year after the Venkies brought us, and we had tell you who the famous clip, the last game. I think it was I've been at home or away to like Wigan or something like that, and Yakubu was up front, and our fans let some chickens off wearing Blackburn capes, and there's just a photo of Yakubu trying to chase them off the pitch. So yeah, it's would you a return?
They are, yeah. What about? Did you see today's result? Not a good start for old Wazza down at Plymouth.
I was going to ask you about this. So I mean, it's a huge result for Sheffield Wednesday, who, let's be fair, last year got through by the skin of the teeth. But what do you think it is? Because he didn't exactly have a great time at Derby. He's not really sort of set anyone alight.
I just don't think he's managerial material. I just don't. Yes, he was a good player, but just being a good player doesn't mean you're going to be a good manager. And he didn't set the world alight with DC United over in the States.
Terrible time at Birmingham.
No, and with all due respect to the MLS, if you can't show any form of success over in a very new league, then I can't. Championship manager now with Plymouth, I think it's madness. I don't think he'll make it to Christmas, and I think he should hang it up and just go, you know what, that's not for me.
I've got enough money. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think for me the big one is his like what's he doing? Is he trying to play? I think this about like the Frank Lampard and the Gerrards and even Rooney. Are they trying to play like managers have taught them? So is he trying to do it like Fergie? Has Lampard tried to maybe do it like Mourinho? Because all three of them really, Gerrard had a good time with Rangers, but come on, who none of them have been really good managers.
No, I mean, they've not been good managers, but they've also not been in a position where they've been a number two to a good manager. So,
like Arteta.
Like Arteta, I was going to say, when you look at Arteta, he was number two under Pep Guardiola for a few years, and he's taken on a team. They've been given the time to do it. And look where he is. These guys have not really had that position where they've been a number two for a long period of time. They've just thought, I will be a manager. That don't really work like that.
So are you saying that Craig Bellamy under Vincent Kompany, now that the helm at Wales is going to lead us to World Cup 2026 in Canada, Mexico, USA, success?
Absolutely not. I said they need to be number two to good managers. Vincent Kompany I've not known a man to fall in a bucket of shit and come out smelling like roses. How on earth he got the Bayern Munich gig, I do not know.
It is, to this day, that and Morata, the Spanish forward, playing for all the clubs that he has, are the two biggest mysteries in football.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So I don't think Craig Bellamy is going to set the world on fire as the Welsh manager. But then again, the Welsh don't have a great pool of players to pick from, do they? So
we currently have our lowest amount of Premier League players in 25 years.
Yeah, there you go. So
he's not going to get a great.
No, and you can't. What was it? 2016 when Wales went all the way to the semi-final in the Euros or the Worlds, whatever it was, and
the Euros,
that was all that. One love, with one team, with this. There's only so far you can go on morale, and and putting the shits up other teams by pretending you're some sort of well-oiled together team. That doesn't work like that. So,
yeah, we will. Just quickly, Argentina beat New Zealand yesterday. 38-30. It was a little bit of a weaker New Zealand team, but I believe it's like the Champions Cup or something, just a bit of summer internationals. So, again, not in a great place rugby-wise as a nation either. So the Premier League doesn't start till towards the end of September in the rugby with I can't remember what they call the cup. It's like the Premier League Cup, but there's the Premier League and the Championship involved in that to start. So hopefully Doncaster can get off to a good start because I do like watching the Knights play. So we shall see. But we've got the closing ceremony this evening, so we'll see how that goes.
I've heard a few of them. I think Tom Cruise is involved in it, isn't he? I think
he's there. I don't know how involved he is, but I have seen footage of him there.
Yeah, he's already shot the scene. Apparently, he parachutes out of a plane over Los Angeles and lands near the Hollywood sign and all this. So,
I've not seen anything. I have got the ceremony on. They do keep showing the Hollywood sign, so that would make some sense. So it would make some sense. So, but no, we'll catch up again next week. Jordan will be back, so we can crack on with our football quiz each week. Well, our quiz each week, and we've got the Premier League back, so I'm sure we'll be discussing how well Arsenal have done. Take care.
Yeah, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Sportscast podcast. As normal, you'll get us on our social media, Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, at SportscastPod UK. Join us again next week.